Hello Gemini, welcome to Monarch Intuition, and today I'm going to be doing a July 2022 mid-monthly check-in reading for you. So if you're new to my channel, what I like to do is I like to pull one major arcana to see the energy and then clarify with a different deck. Oh, I forgot. So I do have a message for you, a channeled message. So what I'm seeing right here is that you could be wanting to attain something within your life. You could want to be attaining some sort of high status, high authority, high job, high position, right? But what you have to understand is that sometimes when you reach for the stars, you can get burned. Because the stars do represent, giant balls of gas in the sky that are on fire. So you need to understand that your dreams sometimes do not align with what they actually are, the actual reality of those dreams. For example, say you want to work for, a government organization, FBI, CIA, military intelligence, whatever. In TV shows, they sound really fun, really exciting. You can, a spy will get a phone call and they're in a top secret building. And they're like, oh gosh, the criminal's going to be here. We have to rush out there, right? But what you have to understand is that in top secret buildings, you can't have your cell phone. There are no windows. It's very boring. People hate their lives and they hate their jobs, okay? So that's something that's very important for you to understand, in that a lot of people actually get pulled into those types of jobs because of the media, all right? Same thing with, being an attorney. They watch a lot of movies about, court cases and whatnot, but when you go to an actual court, it's very, very boring. All right, there's no one going, objection, Your Honor, standing and screaming and, giving this very histrionic testimony. It's just quite boring. So anyway, you have to understand that. And if that's something that you truly are okay with, if you know that, then it's okay to align yourself to those values and align yourself to that type of job or that system. It can also be with a person. It could be a place or a thing. Not everything is going to be sparkly and fantastic, all right? The media does over-portray certain aspects of life. So what's going on for Gemini? What do we need to know? We have the Devil. Okay. Being chained to a situation right here. This could be in a contractual obligation. This could be an addiction. But I do see that you are being chained to something. And you have to understand that it's very hard to walk away from the Devil. It is possible. It is possible to pull off the chains. However, sometimes they are tightly around your neck. Also, you can be signing a contract right here, but be very, very careful about signing contracts right now. Because even though it seems really good, it can always hurt you, 6 months down the line, especially with the way that the economy is going. People are desperate to get people to buy cars, buy houses, buy whatever, right? And you might not have the money to pay that back. So it'd be very important if someone is trying to push you into an obligation right here. So I'm going to be using the Revelations Tarot. This deck does have reversal, so let's get 3 cards for you. What do we need to know for Gemini? We have the Knight of Cups, we have the Eight of Swords in reversed, and we have the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So here's the thing. Someone could be coming towards you with some sort of emotional offer right here. Someone could be trying to, tell you that they care about you, that they love you, that this product is so great, but you have to see things higher than the Eight of Swords perspective. I kind of feel like you need to remove the blindfolds and free yourself from a situation, okay? And that's very important, especially since the Eight of Swords in reverse is coming out underneath the Devil. You need to see things higher than the Devil. You need to use logic and discernment higher than the Devil, all right? You need to see the reason that this person or place or thing is coming towards you. And I kind of feel like it's with this Page of Pentacles in reverse. Money is money, right? You don't have to have a lot of money. You just have to have some money. And that's something that's important to understand about contracts and whatever. If an ATM can charge every person $2 to $3 to withdraw their money, imagine how much money that ATM makes throughout a day. Now imagine how much that company makes in a day throughout the entire state, then your region, and then the country. Imagine if you were to give, 5 cents to some charity. They're trying to play it off, oh, it's so sad, this, that, and the other. Oh, my phone just turned on. Wow. This could be you having to give money to a charity right here. Imagine how much money they're getting. You have to see things from a different perspective. Maybe that charity doesn't morally align with your values. Maybe they just want the money from you. And that's something that's also very important. It's look at every single charity before you give to them. That's something, I know that that's harsh to say, but truly you have to, because you never know when the CEOs are just taking money. And so even though it seems very small with this Page of Pentacles, and you're just like, oh, it's a pentacle, it's not a big deal. It's only, $5 a month, it's only $10 a month, it's only $30 a month, whatever. That's still money that you're not going to have. All right? Regardless of the situation. It could be that you're going to buy a little ring for yourself or a little whatever, a new cell phone, and you don't actually need it. That will add up over a period of time. Okay, because a lot of people sit there and they say, well, I thought my phone bill was only, going to be $100 a month, and why am I paying $160? Because you got to pay off your phone. The phone isn't free. You might get a deal with it, but you still have to pay off the phone. So that's something that you need to understand right here. So let's look at this Knight of Cups energy. Why is this Knight of Cups here? High Priestess, Two of Wands. Someone is using high intellect to move forward very quickly, okay? Someone is coming towards you with this cup, and they have a lot of knowledge within a situation. With this Two of Wands, it's saying that this person is trying to find a new person or a new thing, a new opportunity, possibly with you. It could be a loving situation because the Knight of Cups does represent love, and they know something about you. They're trying to start something new with you. They know what you like, what you don't like, who you are. This could be like, Google Home or Alexa or even Siri. Something that seems harmless, but it knows a lot about you. The Two of Wands is saying what it can offer you next. What is the new step? Where are you going next? What do you want to do? The Eight of Swords, let's look at this. The Nine of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. You have to understand that I don't feel like you're in a position, your finances could be taking a beating right here. All right? I don't think you're in a position to start whatever this new situation is. This person is going to come at you at every single angle. Because that's what the High Priestess represents. They know you more than you know yourself, kind of thing. The Five of Swords, the Nine of Swords, yeah. This is backstabbing and betrayal energy and you having anxiety. Because here's the thing. When people sell you something, they're not your friends, okay? I've worked retail. I know this for a fact. I've sold cars, done a lot of things, right? When people sell you something, you have to understand that they're going to try to tickle your fancy. That's a saying of like tickle your ear, make you feel special, give you what you want. So that way you keep coming back. Or that way they sign the deal with you. But at the end, they don't really care about you as an individual, all right? This could be you even wanting to pay for, like a tarot reading. You go to someone and you tell them your problems, or this person approaches you. You give them whatever little money that you have. This could be, like a preacher on TV. And in the end, they don't care about you. They're mocking you. Because they know that you have problems, but they don't care about fixing your problems. They don't care about you with this Nine of Wands. They're going to leave you walking away with your money right here, okay? You need to have a high level of discernment right here that there are people in your life who do care about you, and then there are people in your life who are manipulators and don't, all right? But this person knows a lot, and I kind of feel like they're trying to engage and get more, to get something from you, to make you move towards them, to give them money, whatever little money that you do have. And in the end, they're going to be smiling while you walk away, and you're still going to be anxious about the situation because here's the thing. I don't think that this person can truly solve your problems. You have the King of Pentacles coming out. They're really just wanting the money for themselves to sit on their own throne. Exactly. They cannot solve your problems, Gemini. Whatever this situation is, love, resources, finance, career, it's not going to solve your problems. It's only to get you to stay around, to give to the situation. And this could be, a really toxic work environment where, certain jobs, they'll try to get you to work on days off. They'll be like, oh yeah, you're the best employee. Thanks so much. And while you're working, they're trying to hype you up, right? oh, I can't believe you decided to come in on your day off and work this triple. Oh my gosh, you could have never done it without you, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, they don't give a shit about you. If you quit tomorrow, it wouldn't hurt them. They could find someone else. Okay? I'm not saying a sucker is born every minute in this reading, because I don't think that's the reading for you, Gemini. I think that someone is playing off of your emotions to get something out of you. And they're very good because they can do it to a lot of people. They can do it on a high scale with this high priestess. Just 50 cents can save someone in need. Just $1 a day, just $1 a month. Just, I could help solve your problems. Oh, don't you need this new phone? Don't you need this new Netflix subscription? Whatever. Because here's the thing, certain companies don't actually give a shit about their clientele. All right, that's another thing you have to understand. The companies themselves don't even care. They don't care about their employees, and they don't care about what they're trying to give to the people who buy the subscriptions. And that's what this is, Gemini. That's what the devil is trying to teach you. You are chained to something that is toxic. All right? They're going to try to work every angle to get more from you. You know that what they want doesn't really align with you. You know that what they're going to give you isn't really worth your time, your money, and your attention. But they're still going to try every angle to get it from you, all right? It's coercion, it's manipulation, it's whatever. And when they have it, they're going to walk away laughing while you walk away sad and be plagued with this anxiety. Because here's the thing, as I said, if a king could get one pentacle from every page, say there are 500 pages in the kingdom and he got one pentacle from them, once a month or once every 2 weeks. He's the king, right? He's the richest of them all. That's what this situation is. The Eight of Swords coming out. Yeah, and you're still trapped, sad, and alone. You're still thinking about the situation. You have your card coming out. Six of Swords, mentally moving away from this. You truly need to move away from this situation, Gemini. You really need to take off the blindfolds and see things for how they are. You need to see who this King of Pentacles is. Four of Cups, and you need to say, no, I don't really want your cup. Thank you. Goodbye. Ten of Swords. I want to clarify this Ten of Swords. With this Four of Cups and Ten of Swords, you're realizing that it's defeat energy. You're saying, I don't want this defeat. I think you're realizing right here is that it was the thing that was hurting you all along. This could be you taking into account how many streaming things that you have. For example, some people buy YouTube Premium, then they buy Netflix, and then they have Hulu, and then they have Crunchyroll, and then they have Spotify and Pandora and whatever the fuck else, right? And then they have, Uber Eats and this, that, and the other, and then they have their cell phone bill, then they have their car insurance, then they have all these other things. That's what this is, Gemini. You have a lot of small things in your life that you're giving to, or a small amount, that's making certain things rich. Corporations, people, whatever. It could honestly just be someone wanting to be, a lover to you right here. But you're realizing that that's truly what your defeat is within your life. It's kind of like, for example, this is going to sound kind of shady and petty, all right? When I was younger, Snapchat. Snapchat to me was kind of stupid. In fact, a lot of people would kind of joke on you about running out of data because that's generally who used Snapchat. Whenever I was a teenager, people would be like, do you have a Snapchat? I'd be like, no, I have data. And we'd joke about it. And we would make fun of people. It happened to me before, too. I ran out of data, and I was like, I don't have data. I can't text you right now. I can't use the internet. People would be like, oh, you ran out of data, right? But Snapchat was a thing that you used when you didn't have anymore, when you couldn't pay for your text messages, when you couldn't pay for the internet, right? You'd log into the school's Wi-Fi and use Snapchat to communicate with your friends. But to me, it's just texting with extra steps. That's all it is. It's texting. It's kind of like having a Facebook Messenger along with the Snapchat, along with the Discord. Why do you need all three forms of communication? Like, granted, there are useful for different things, but if you don't do all those things, then why do you need it within your life? It's also kind of like having a Facebook, a Twitter, an Instagram, all these small little things that accumulate into one giant mess for yourself that causes you anxiety. I have a Facebook, right? But I don't have a page for this. I don't really like, let me back that up. I have a page, but I don't promote it, okay? I have like maybe 2 followers on it. I haven't shared it. I don't really care about it. I made it when I first started the channel, but I probably will delete it. My Facebook is my personal life, right? But I don't use Twitter. I don't use TikTok. I don't use any of the other stuff because to me, it doesn't matter. It's just a waste of time. There are other things that you could be doing with your life. I don't need that extra stress within my life. I like making my YouTube videos, but I don't really want to go the extra step, if that makes sense. It's great for people who are into marketing, but if you're not marketing and you're not trying to promote yourself, then you're really just adding extra stress on your life right here. And that's kind of what this is, Gemini. You're adding a lot of extra stress by doing all these little things for this king, for companies, for resources, right? To me, I don't take Facebook seriously. Some people are like, only post the great special events that happen in their life. To me, Facebook, it was originally a gaming platform. A lot of people don't know that. You used to just play video games on Facebook. It wasn't a social media platform for real. It was so you didn't have to add people to your MySpace account. You could play with a bunch of random people. So that's what this is. I kind of feel like you're going around within circles right here with technology, with things that don't actually serve a fucking purpose in your life except to just kind of control you. Now, I'm not saying social media is bad, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Instagram is bad. I'm not saying Twitter is bad. I'm not saying any of it's bad. You can do what you want. I'm saying, why do you have to have so much of it? That's the thing. Maybe that's your problem right here, Gemini, is you're doing so much of it. You're giving to each different thing. You're paying for your Pandora, your Spotify, your Netflix, you know, paying little bits here and there. Not much, but whatever. It accumulates. We have the Daughter of Grails coming. I grabbed from the wrong deck. Daughter of Grails, Lord of Grails, Ten of Skulls. You're feeding this right here. Why is the page paying the king who already has the Ten of Pentacles? Why is the page giving to the king with the Ten of Pentacles right here? Why are you doing that? Doesn't the king have enough of his own? I'm going to give you another example. Keeping up with the Joneses right here. That could be what you're doing as well. For example, you don't actually have to have, for an ad blocker, yeah, YouTube has little special features here and there. However, you could just get an ad blocker for your computer. You could just turn on your ad blocker and you won't have any commercials. They're free. Your computer probably has it built in, you just haven't turned it on. It's kind of like, for example, downloading different applications. That's also what I'm saying for you, is because the Ten of Swords also represents communication from the airwaves. A lot of people have, you know, the YouTube application, the Facebook app, the whatever application. Personally, I use everything from my Safari browser. Like, if I want to watch YouTube, I'll open up YouTube, type in whatever I want to do, and then that's it, right? When I had YouTube Premium, I would use my YouTube browser, or I'd use the Safari browser, type in YouTube, then I'd go and look at my Facebook. But I would use it all on one browser. I didn't have applications for every single different thing. Why? Because what's the point? It's just extra steps. Are the features really that important that you would go out on a limb to pay extra money for them, or are they just kind of like add-ons that really don't matter? That's up to you. It's okay to have, you know, a YouTube Premium. I've had it before and I enjoyed it. It was great. However, it's whatever, right? The Tower, the Chariot, the Fool. The Tower comes falling down. You realize something. The Chariot is that you have victory, you have clarity over a situation. You can see things from a higher perspective and you want to start anew. You want to start fresh. You know, sometimes it's okay to want to start completely new on things. For example, this could also be that you want to start completely new with like a new ecosystem, like a new new technology, right? You do want to get a new phone. You want to get a new computer. You want to get a new thing, right? But you don't want to download anything that you've previously had. You want to start a new ID, a new email address. That could be what this is as well. Maybe you're realizing that your life is too cluttered, so you want to just shut down everything. You want to get a new phone with nothing on it, with no pictures, no nothing. Same with maybe a new computer that doesn't have any files on it, and start from scratch and start from new right there. So it doesn't feel clustered. It doesn't feel cluttered for you. That's what this could be. It could be, a great reset on your phone. It could be a great reset on your computer. Be careful of that. Maybe you could have a power surge that, knocks everything out. That's something else that you need to pay attention to. So anyway, let me get you a couple of Witches Familiars. Let me get you one more card. Four of Skulls. Yeah, hold on to your resources right here. The Four of Pentacles is you holding on to everything, not paying out, right? I bought the monthly subscription to YouTube, and then I just turned on my ad blocker, and I was like, well, I mean, whatever. So that's what this is. You have magpie addiction. Yeah, you're addicted to all of these different things. Maybe you don't even realize it's an addiction. Red squirrel, conscientious, and rat, adaptability. Here's something right here. Maybe you don't even realize how addicted you are to something right here. You have to be more conscientious to that. Are the features, are these things really that important? Because once again, as I said, this could be, Google Home, Alexa. It knows more about you than you do of yourself right here. It can target you with ads, application, things of that nature. It's adaptable to the situation. Here's the thing. Maybe it's saying that you have to be adaptable to a situation. Maybe you have, say for instance, maybe you have a computer and you have your phone. Why don't you just turn on your ad blocker on YouTube, put on a video, and then scroll around and play on your phone? You don't have to pay for anything then. You don't have to worry about closing out your browser and it turns off YouTube, right? Could also be as something as, like, granted, it's kind of got extra steps to it, but you're adaptable and you don't have to pay for the situation. Does that make sense? Because if you already have the ad blocker built in, why would you pay for that? I mean, yeah, you get extra things, but are they really worth that much to you in the end? Have you ever used them? That's another thing, is like when people do this whole, Apple versus Android thing, it's like most people don't even use the features on their phone. They call people, they text people, they have a few applications, and that's it. They scroll the internet. Half the features most people are never going to use within your life. If you're paying for something for features that you don't use, then get rid of it. And if you do use the features and they're not really making you happy, find a way around it. There are ways around things. Be more adaptable to your environment right here. Don't just follow the status quo because, it's easier. If it saves you money in the long run, it's saving you money in the long run. Like, that's it, right? So I feel like this is all about, conserving your resources, conserving who you are, conserving your data, your identity, your privacy. It's all about, maybe you even want to start a reset, like just completely delete everything off of your phone. Here's the thing. If you're wanting to do that, let me tell you something. Get an external hard drive first before you do it. Just download everything to the external hard drive, then do it. Okay? At least you'll have your data saved. Just remember that. Super easy to do. Skull of Light, illumination. See things for what they truly are. Be enlightened to this. Why do they want you to be stuck in a loop so you don't move forward within your life? Here's the thing. A lot of people want to have dreams within their life, Gemini, but they never take the first step because they're so addicted to the things that are around them. They can live vicariously through other people, all right? You have to understand that for yourself, Gemini. If you have dreams within your life, don't live vicariously through other people. Actually live out your dreams. That's what this situation is. A lot of people will say, oh, I want to do this, but then they never do it. But I'm like, well, what did you do? And they're like, just, YouTube, play video games, whatever. It's meant to keep you not doing anything. There's an old saying to touch grass. It means go outside and actually touch the grass instead of being trapped inside this world right here in media. Joy, rejoicing in the present, touch grass. As you can see, what's she doing? She's touching leaves. It's an insult, but I mean, it gets the point across, doesn't it? Prosperity and manifestation. You'll save money, and I feel like you could be even more abundant. In fact, I feel like you'll just be happier. It's kind of like getting a VPN. Like, paying for one thing isn't bad. For example, there are websites out there that you can just pay for a yearly subscription, and it cracks all the applications for you, so you don't have to pay for them. You didn't hear that from me, though. Prosperity with this manifestation. I feel like when you break free from whatever this is, you start to realize from these addictions being more conscientious. You start sitting there thinking like, hey, I was spending a lot of money on things that I didn't even need. For example, like when I was younger and debit cards were like, really popular. Like everyone has a debit card now, they're super popular, but I wasn't paying attention to the charges that were going through my debit card. Now that I'm older and like older, I look at my bills like really closely, right? I look at my money. And I think most people do as they get older. However, even as you get older, sometimes you have things on auto pay and you don't even realize that it's taking out for months. For example, I didn't even know that I had signed up for DoorDash Plus. I don't even eat out. Like, I make all my food at home. Where the fuck did the DoorDash thing come from? And they had taken out, it's only $10, and I didn't notice it. I mean, $10 is $10 and whatever, right? But it was still only $10, and I just did not notice that. But they had done it for 7 months. That's $70. I'd like to just have $70, like someone hand me my $70 back at once, right? That's that conscientious thing. So if you do a great reset on your phone, on your applications or whatever, you cancel everything, you start to realize the things that you don't fucking need. I'm not saying to be like a minimalist. I'm just saying, can you get the things bundled together maybe? Can you just buy the cracked applications? Can you just turn on an ad blocker? Can you just download the songs like we used to? Like, that's kind of the situation right here. Anyway, let me get you a couple of Awaken cards. And focus on your own dreams with this manifestation. Ground down, touch grass, masculine and feminine. Masculine and feminine energy right here, Gemini, getting in touch with your twin, okay? Because remember, one twin is feminine, one twin is masculine. Now, they're both represented as males, but you have to understand that even feminine energy, even in Egyptian time periods, the feminine side or the negative side was actually represented by male energy. So it's kind of like Loki and Thor, right? Loki is the feminine to the Thor, which is masculine, and Odin sits above them. Heka and Ra, Heka and Ra. Heka was the negative, Ra was the masculine, or whatever. That's kind of what I'm seeing for you right here. Blending these two together, getting in touch with your own self, who you are again. Saving your money. Just having like a great reset on the things that you don't need. This is what this is it's like you going through your closet like, I don't like that. I'm never buying that again. Maybe even looking at the brands that you buy. Saying, that's not even healthy. Why am I buying that? It's kind of like being more conscious of how you spend your money. Because it's being targeted at you, okay, with the High Priestess. It's being shown to you all the time, and you're sitting there thinking, well, maybe I do need it. And maybe there are things that you had from long ago that you didn't even know that you were paying for. Like, it's that kind of energy. So let me get you a couple of, what are these? Talisman cards and rune cards. Oh, no. Hold on. We got Perthos Secret, earthly meaning, chance, gambling, secrets, windfall, synchronicity, birth, fate, the feminine, and uncertainty. Yeah, you don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow. So, try to be more conscientious about how you live your life today. Gebo, gift, success, union, happiness, and obligation, spiritual meaning, karma, and inner equilibrium. Let me get you a talisman card. You have Algas, protection, courage, help from others, and good decision making. Protect your information too, okay? What I'm also kind of getting is that, oh, this is something that I also found out. Stop using something to sign into everything. You know, everyone says, oh, well, use your Facebook account to sign into this, to sign into that, whatever, right? Here's the thing, when your Facebook account gets banned, it's kind of like, in a way, its own social credit system. If your Facebook account gets banned, it can lock you out of all of your other accounts. Certain things can shut down for you. And then you lost all of your data because you can't log into them anymore because it's using your Facebook credentials to create an ID login for you. So that's kind of what I'm seeing for you right now, is that maybe you actually need to go and see what your Facebook signed into and start actually making accounts for them. All right? And then having all of your passwords laid out inside of your phone, and maybe even going and start using one password for everything, something that's very long and encrypted right here. It could just be, you know, changing who you are, changing your structure, becoming more orderly, Gemini. I feel like that's what you're kind of craving and missing right here, is order. How do you establish order within your life? How do you stop handing out to all of these different things? How do you stop playing into this game? By having order, by saying, all right, shut everything down and restart. Pull one thing at a time, one thing a day. Get your banking application, get, you know, your bills that are absolutely essentials applications, sign into them, have your password set up, you know, whatever. That's what the situation is, Gemini. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I'll talk to you later.